Hi guys, welcome to today's battle report. We've got 2,000 points of DeathGuard versus 2,000 points of Ultramarines. We've got the two armies set up, so we'll just quickly breeze through them and what we've brought. For the DeathGuard, I've got two Plague Burst crawlers. I've got a Demon Prince with two Malefic Talons and wings. This is my Typhus model, which isn't quite finished because I've been converting it myself. What have I got? 18 Poxwalkers.
Yay.
3 Blight Drones with Plague Spitters. 2 identical 7-man Plague Marine squads. Special weapon being a plasma gun, and there's a power fist on the Sergeant. Both WYSIWYG, exactly what you see is what you get. And then Mortarion at the back there. That's 2,000 points of DeathGuard.
Then for the Ultramarines, we have 1 Spearhead, which involves 6 tanks, 2 Vindicators, 2 Vindicator Laser Destroyers, 2 Predators with twin Lascannon and Lascannon Sponsons, a Storm Talon with Lascannon and the Cannon. We have the Tech Mariners HQ with Chainsword and Bolt Gun, Guilliman in the Super Heavy Auxiliary Detachment, Reavers in the Elite Detachment, not the Elite Detachment, the Elite section of the Spearhead, and then 1 Auxiliary Detachment with a Devastator squad with 3 Lascannons, a Missile Launcher, and the Sergeant. That is everything, sadly.
Very elite armies on both sides.
More DeathGuard in terms of numbers.
Yeah, which is odd.
We'll see how this goes.
Hi guys, the mission that we're playing today is the Scouring. We've set up our 6 objective markers over the board. I finished placing the 6 objective markers, so I decided on short way across the table and picked this deployment zone over here to the left of your screen, forcing Ryan to set up over this side. Ryan set up his last guy before me, so got +1 to the roll, getting first turn. I then tried to seize the initiative, and on a 4 failed miserably. So it will be Ultramarines' first turn. Quick things to note. At the 6 objective markers, 1 is randomly selected and we D6 rolled. So objective 5 over here is worth 4 points. I've got it right in my hand. Objective 4 over here is worth 3 points, and then the other objective markers are all worth 2 points. So actually, game-wise, it's worked out pretty well. The 2 markers that are smack in the middle for anybody to sort of go for
Highest pointers.
are the highest pointers, which is completely random. We didn't plan that. It's just how the dice rolled. So we're all set up. Most of Ryan's forces are over in the corner.
Apart from these Reavers waiting for deployment, turn 2 or turn 3.
Yep.
Same for you with Typhus.
Typhus is waiting in the teleport zone, yeah. I've pretty much conga lined my forces out a little bit. The Poxwalkers over here. We're really for deep strike denial, because I know there's a squad of Reavers that are coming in at some point. So I've just spread them out to cover my backfield as my troops, or the bulk of my force, move to engage the Ultramarine tanks. Mortarion's just chilling out up top, surveying the battlefield.
Standing out.
Yeah, he's a big model. He stands out pretty much wherever you put him.
Guilliman's just like tucked in with his Vindicator Laser Destroyer over there.
In fact, he's leaning on it. That's how bothered he is about the up-and-coming battle. He's just like leant back on a Vindicator Laser Destroyer. Just like, yeah, come at me, boy. So we'll get back to you after the end of the first turn.
So Ultramarine movement and shooting phase turn 1 has been pretty successful. I didn't move any units. The Storm Talon went into hover mode, meaning that there was no penalty to its heavy weapons, as well as the fact that it has a 2+ when shooting anything that doesn't fly, but obviously hitting on 3s on the Mortarion for that turn, because he flies, unfortunately. Other than that, there's a missing Plague Burst Crawler that got one shot by my lovely demon. Well, I call it might as well call it a demon laser destroyer.
The way it is, yeah. Demos Vindicator laser destroyer.
Supercharged, or I think it's called overcharged for this. Yeah, overcharged fire. Because it's not moved. Obviously, I hardly move my guys with heavy weapons. With my lovely rerolls and for wound and hit, and it basically just wiped the floor with it with straight 12 damage. The invulnerable save failed on both, and he'd already used his command reroll, so there was no chance saving that. Both drones are now on 2 damage a pop, so they're pretty much hammered in terms of movement in the lower bracket.
Yeah.
Same with Mortarion, though I can't shoot him now with him being on 7. He's below 10 wounds. And other than that, I don't think there's anything else I was able to shoot at because my Vindicator's a 24-inch range and there's nothing else that's close enough with this drone, far out of range. These guys are as well, not within 24.
Yeah, it was a pretty devastating first turn, I think. You've neutered my fast units that can be used for tying up. Losing a Plague Burst Crawler is a pretty big deal. And Mortarion getting down to 7. To be fair, he's always, every time I've played him, he's always a magnet for fire. Because of his high wounds, starts on 18, he can be targeted from the off. So it's like a las cannon's paradise. And to be fair, I made quite a good number of disgustingly resilient rolls with him.
I still think you should have hid him behind the building for turn 1. Because you could have gone straight past the building in turn 2. With the drones in front. Yeah. And then after he'd taken damage, he'd be safe right now.
It's definitely a possibility. Yeah.
Happy turn for me.
I think so. I think as far as first turn goes, that was pretty devastating. We'll have to see what the DeathGuard can do in their first turn, although with the fact that he's neutered my faster units, I think it's almost down to a hunker down and play the objectives almost straight away.
And it was worth me not spending that command point on rerolling the Starred Talon shot. Because I made sure I didn't drop him below the bracket that way when I fired my autocannon doing, I think it was 2 more damage.
Yeah.
And then with that, I fired obviously the Predator las cannon to him, which did some serious damage, dropping him to 7.
Absolutely. I think, losing out on first turn seriously left me open.
But on the upside, you've still got a conga line going on. So there's a lot of fun happening back here.
They're just partying. Papa Noodle's happy. Just get shot, guys. It's not a problem. Just have a shindig.
The upside is it's not all over because it is an objective-based game.
Absolutely not. If this was, for instance, kill points, I would be happy myself about now. But since it's objectives, I'm not that worried because Ryan would have to move troops out to get to objectives, which then hampers his usability. Whereas I've still got quite a lot of troops and some nice line of sight blocking terrain. So I'm feeling okay at the minute, if I'm honest.
Yeah, and in future we won't be doing any more like no mercy or kill based battles. It will mostly be objectives and then bringing in tactical objectives probably in the next game.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to start using Maelstrom a lot more, just for complete randomness of games, and a lot more variety than just the regular Eternal War missions. Okay, so at the end of Ultramarines turn 1, the battlefield is looking certainly one-sided. So let's see what DeathGuard can do in their first turn. That was a very, very short first turn for the DeathGuard. Basically, Plague Marines over here moved up. They're heading towards the 4-point objective. Boxwalkers spread out, conga lined. Just
deep strike, not deep strike.
Dropping
in
to prevent your Reavers.
Grav shoot insertion.
Plague Marines in this building just stayed there because they're out of line of sight, so they're safe. The 2 damaged light drones move forward. I'll move the dice because they're on 2 wounds each. Mortarion moved up. The undamaged Plague drone moved up to keep him behind. Because obviously he's dropped down in wounds to 7. The Prince moved over here
Providing you reroll.
And yeah, but I rolled 2s, not
Yeah.
1, so it was pointless. And then this guy shot over at the Demos, wanting to do in turn, or in kind, what it did to his fellow
just not the same caliber of
tank.
weapon.
No. So I managed to take 6 wounds off.
Dropping it down a bracket currently.
That was done with the entropy cannons. The mortar did absolutely chaff all.
Yeah.
And it's out of range of its Rothwell volley gun. Yeah, so very, very short, very, very quick. Not a lot more to say, really.
No.
We'll have to go into Ultramarines turn 2 and see if there's anything left on the board at the end of it.
Ultramarine shooting and movement turn 2 was pretty sad for us, but happy for DeathGuard. My Reavers dropped in 9 inches away from this lovely squad of DeathGuard Marines, or what are they, Plague Marines, otherwise known as. I failed to kill this other Plague Burst Crawler, leaving it on 4 wounds. And no matter what I threw at this drone over here, it continued to survive, same as the other 2 drones here, including the Orbital Bombardment, which didn't pull off.
I think I was due a little bit of good luck there, and I think in this turn I pretty much had it all.
Yes.
I was rolling saves for fun. I mean, those 2 drones, they only had 2 wounds left each, and they took a lot of firepower. Did take out Plague Marine over on that side of the board.
I haven't charged my Reavers, mainly because I just want to hold on to the objective and avoid combat for as long as possible. Other than that, I just got rid of 1 Marine with the heavy bolt pistol. Rolling lucky to clear 1 guy with only 1 wound on them. Moving into turn 2 for DeathGuard. I'm expecting to have some losses at least, with them getting a lot closer. And hopefully this Plague Burst Crawler will actually be able to do something, but I'm guessing its shooting bracket will be a lot lower now.
Yeah. Be hitting on 5s now.
And if you're wondering, that's a person eating in the background as to why his voice sounds like that.
Gammon. Yum yum.
So this is the current state of the board. I haven't moved anywhere. And I also got my injured Vindicator back up to 7 with my Tech Marine, raising it back up to its normal bracket. But no, we'll see what dies in turn 2 DeathGuard.
So at the end of DeathGuard turn 2, lots of stuff has happened. So the drone moved up and took out 2 Devastator guys.
Moving my Sergeant and the missile launcher.
Yeah. Mortarion moved up, got a charge in,
To
blew
the Vindicator.
up Vindicator very convincingly, although now he's the closest model. And
There's a line of tanks.
yeah. Typhus came in,
Yeah.
attempted to charge
This.
horrible thing that's been causing me so much problems, and just got shot to
eviscerated.
pieces. Yeah. Overwatch rolled a 6. Then you got your re-rolling second shot, which also came up a 6 and just blew him to shreds. The crawler at the back did absolutely sweet FA. It was very, very bad.
That's twice now.
Yeah, really not that impressed with it. I mean, it is down a bracket, so it was only hitting on 5s instead of 4s, but even then, hitting on 4s still isn't that great. Over this side of the board, I moved the Plague Marines up, rapid fire shot into them, killed a guy, and then the plasma gun killed another guy. Not that awesome though, if I'm honest.
And they just moved up to secure the other objective.
They're still conga lining. Yeah, so the objective's in there, so within 3 inches they have got that.
A nice overview.
Yeah. So it wasn't a bad turn for DeathGuard. Losing Typhus to Overwatch was awful. It was one of those manoeuvres that I knew I had to do because I had to tie up his big guns and stop them from firing.
But for Mortarion's sake, he'd been better off. Well, then again, if he was still in combat with the Vindicator would have fallen back, and then it would have been the same situation.
The idea is I just have to get Mortarion in there and swinging and destroying stuff. Pretty much with his eviscerating blow, anything he touches in this line is just crumping, so he has to survive another round of shooting, which isn't that great. Objectives-wise, I'm holding one at the back there for 2 points, one at the back there for 2 points, which is 4 points.
Same for me.
You're holding the Big Daddy,
Oh yeah,
which is worth 4 points. So I need to do something with this squad. Guys-wise, you've still got the multi-wounds, which is making that fight more in your favour.
Yeah.
Over here,
there's an open objective on the 3 point.
There is. Is there an objective with this building?
Yeah, that's the 2 I'm holding.
So 2. So it's 6 to 4 at the minute. But then you've got Line Breaker. Not Line Breaker, sorry, Slay the...
Yeah.
Not even Slay the Warlord. First Blood.
First Blood.
Hallelujah.
Your Warlord is...
that Demon Prince hanging out at the back over there. Currently can't be targeted, although, take out that tank and he can be. Which gives you something to think about, but if I'm honest with you, I think the thing you're going to focus on is getting the Big Daddy down.
And then probably moving eventually my Storm Talon over to support my Reavers.
Yeah, absolutely. So even though I did do some stuff this turn, it's still hanging badly in the balance, I think, for the DeathGuard. Losing Typhus, I'm not going to lie, that was a big blow. I was hoping to tie up his Big Daddy tank, one of the Big Daddy tanks.
It's just the position of them as well.
Because these things, if left to fire with him with a reroll, are just nasty.
And I can't afford any blockers at this point, so that's why they're open to attack.
Absolutely. So we're going to move off into
turn 3.
Turn 3 for the Ultramarines and see what happens.
Ultramarine, turn 3, shooting and movement. My Reavers have remained the same. They fired the heavy bolt pistols, wounding no one. Luckily, they got some support from a Storm Talon who sent some lovely las cannon shots over there and dealt with 2. Other than that, Morty is now gone after some concentrated fire from a Predator and a Vindicator. But unfortunately exploded, leaving my lovely Devastators deleted.
Yep.
And leaving these 2 slightly crippled, one on 10, the other on 10. Luckily not dropped down any brackets, so firing is still the same. Other than that, we've lost the Plague Crawler.
Yeah.
4 wounds, I believe. This lovely Predator here was the finishing blow, though only 4 wounds needed, so 4 las cannons with D6 damage. I was kind of hoping on it.
You managed to take
the Crawler down to 2.
Drone.
No, Drone down to 2, not the Crawler. It's more likely crawling now, but...
Yeah. You shot the other Demos at the Demon Prince.
Failing miserably.
Thank fuck for that.
Not a major concern
It was
right
a
now.
pretty good turn for you, really. Yeah, there's not a lot left on the board that I have that can answer stuff. I think if I can manage to kill these guys and get into cover behind here, there's a possibility. But these guys have to go for me, and then you have to start moving out to claim other objectives.
Luckily, I've still got my Storm Talon, so that's going to be line breaker if I keep them alive.
Yeah.
And then if I can move this tank line up to the next objective, leaving 1 tank behind to secure what's there. If we can finish off this drone, which we should hopefully be able to do.
I think so. Yeah, I think definitely this little area here is going to be
contested.
Pretty decisive.
Luckily, I can move my Storm Talon over. It's going to be needed.
But yeah, you've pretty much taken all the teeth out of the DeathGuard list.
Apart from there's a demon that it can possibly do something.
I'm just wary now after the typhus deletion that happened, because that hurts. That still hurts now.
You've still got the conga line.
That is true.
Another squad hidden for the entire match from here.
Yes, pretty much. Right, we'll move into DeathGuard turn 3 and see what we can do. This will be a very short turn, I think. So at the end of DeathGuard turn 3, very little happened. These guys moved up slightly, shot into the Reavers,
Doing 1
managing to
damage.
kill. Well,
1 damage with the bolts, and then
the
2
plasma
damage
gun
with the
finished
plasma.
it off, but 1 guy lost effectively. The conga line shuffled like meaninglessly a tiny bit that way. Plague Marines stayed where they were. The drone shot into the tank, did nothing. Because it's been crippled down, it's at user strength for its plague spitters, meaning it's strength 4,
This is
toughness 8, so it was 6s to wound.
No, toughness 7. That tank is.
Well, awful.
That is, it still it makes no difference.
Still was awful. Demon Prince shuffled over to give some line of sight blocking against all of these tanks, because he's my warlord.
3 points.
Yeah,
If
the
he
last
was
thing I
7.
wanted to do was give that up. A very, very quick turn. At the minute, we seem to be trading guy for guy over here almost. It is literally going to come down to this section, I think. Once I've lost that section, I've effectively lost the game. Not that I'm holding it at the minute; these guys are. But this is sort of the key area left for me. All the teeth, like I think I've said previously, have been taken out of the DeathGuard list, and we have just become like the much beloved race in Star Trek, a Klingon. So we'll see you in Ultramarine turn 4.
So Ultramarine turn 4, is it? Yes, Ultramarine turn 4.
Turn 4.
Movement and shooting. So as you can see, the Ultramarines have actually started to move. What was happening is these tanks will be moving up to this objective here with Guilliman in support. Therefore, even though this warlord's over here, I'll be able to contest it through sheer numbers. These tanks began moving up to support the Reavers. Obviously, this tank here, the Vindicator, was planning to move towards this objective up here. Obviously, we're not playing 3 inches from the model, we're playing 3 inches in the zone above it, so just the area in general. So eventually in turn 5, I should have secured that objective, if not contested by non-existent units on the DeathGuard side. This Predator would have been able to move a bit closer, but mainly it was in case the game kept rolling on. They could have supported the Reavers, but with Reaver shooting, I don't think the Reavers themselves did any.
No, it was the
Storm Talon
that did it.
with its autocannon shots dealing 3 more deaths to the DeathGuard.
Yeah.
Leaving them with 1, which isn't really that much of a worry to the Reavers now. Poxwalkers on their own as well, unable to do anything about something in the air.
Very quick turn.
And obviously we did a drive-by, so this Predator here finished off the drone, which was sitting here.
Yeah.
Which was the only other unit which could have contested me for this objective here.
So I think at the end of Ultramarines turn 4, we're going to call it there. So I've done a quick bit of mental maths in my head as to how the game could play out. And when I say could play out, best case scenario for me. So follow me through my train of thought.
So
I'm holding 2 points down here.
Yep.
And there's 2 points here.
So Zach, take that.
This, I've got a feeling, would drop into hover mode.
Yes.
So ignore that. So 2. Those guys over there.
But flyers still can't capture objectives, so regardless.
He would still shoot through all of that without a joke. I would conservatively reckon half the conga line would go. So even if I played it like I was getting those, that's 4 points.
They can't fight back either.
you're holding out a 4-point objective there, which you are going to see out. Over here, I was thinking, last ditch moving up the Demon Prince, which has wings, over there. However, with your tanks rolling up,
12-inch
best I can
movement.
do is contest, because there's still a turn to go.
So 12-inch movement, essentially what would have happened is this guy can move 6, so he'd move about here, possibly in charge range, and then if that pulls off, then we're
to be honest, he would have been shot to pieces by
the tanks.
These guys before then. If this had been end of turn 5, and those tanks were back there,
possibly.
But even then, so the battlefield absolutely not a prayer for the DeathGuard and what's remaining.
Obviously, we've got Line Breaker and First Blood.
First Blood as well, Line Breaker. And I've got nothing left at all that I can deal with. I think turn 1 for the DeathGuard was very devastating. I still think at the end of turn 2 there was still a little glimmer. Yeah.
Typhus coming in, Mortarion coming in.
Absolutely, I think there was a glimmer, but by the time Typhus had been lost and Mortarion had been blown,
you'd also lost your drones, which meant you couldn't lock up other units with them either.
Yeah,
which happened last time.
I bolt them up board, tie up units, especially those heavy shooters.
But I've learned from past experience from the DeathGuard and what to do.
So yeah, at turn 1 with their movement neutered, it was just going south. A fun game though. Like I say, there was still a bit of a glimmer. Turn 2, end of turn 3, I'm starting to think this isn't going my way today. And then the start of turn 4 there for the Ultramarines just killed off any chances of getting back into the game. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. Hope you found this style of shooting quick. We've even simplified it down from where we would do here's the end of movement, here's the end of shooting, here's psychic, etc., etc., and just compartmentalised it all into one
snapshot
end of turn. We haven't mentioned much psychic powers during the game. We would have done if they'd have been meaningful or effective.
Mostly it was casting.
These guys have got bits and pieces off, but it hasn't come into play to the point where it felt like it needed mentioning. Let us know in the comments section what you think, whether you feel this is too short and you want something much like the style we did before. Please let us know. We think this is probably going to be A, easier for us to shoot, and B, getting you through the game quicker. So it fits more into a busy lifestyle.
Yeah. Not a 2-hour video, nor a 45-minute video, but more around about 20 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. We're always refining. We're absolutely open to any feedback that you've got. Comment, like, subscribe. Like we've said in previous videos, I'm going to keep saying it for the next month or 2. Come and join us on Facebook, Fair Leadership 40k. Pop in the search engine. We're the only people you're going to find with that name. So come and join the community. We post things up there daily, what we're doing, what we're on with. I've recently just got a full green book from the Horus Heresy, which I'm reading through. You'll see little snapshots of painting that we're doing. So it's just another way of keeping up with the channel, in between the regular video content. Anything left from you, Ryan?
I don't think there is. I'm just happy the Ultramarines got revenge from last time. Mortarion didn't get to kick the shit out of Guilliman this time.
Yeah. It's probably worth mentioning. Me and Ryan played a game a few months ago, DeathGuard Ultramarines. We didn't film it.
Essentially, the drones locked down some of my tanks, so did Mortarion, and it was just a case of I wasn't able to shoot, falling back the tanks, unable to shoot. They got mauled in melee combat. Wasn't fantastic. Yeah. But learning from that, I just focused down the drones, put some shots into Mortarion, and just worked down from there. Pretty much crippling the movement, stopping them from getting in turn 2, and just slowed it down.
Yeah, absolutely. Slowed down an already slow army to start with. Absolutely. Well, that's it from us for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the battle report.